Welcome to another ranking video here at Paperback Warrior. My name is Eric, and I'll take you through the month of April to count down my top 10 reads of the month. These are books that had reviews appear on the Paperback Warrior blog, so let's kick it off with my number 10 pick, A Taste of Terror. This is a 1976 novel by Martha Albrand that was published in hardcover by G.P. Putnam Sons. The novel features a commercial airline pilot named Kent that loses over 100 of his passengers in a freak accident when the plane's landing gear refuses to descend. About 90 days after the accident, Kent receives an anonymous letter in the mail. It's a threat that warns Kent that if he doesn't commit suicide to atone for the plane crash, then the sender will kill his teenage daughter. Unfortunately, the book is a real snooze fest and mostly spends the entire time tracking Kent's wife having an affair with another man and his own desires for a female friend of the family. This is a dull read, don't bother. Number 9 on my countdown is The Doomsday Planet by New York author Harold Vincent Schopflin. He used the name Harl Vincent to write this weird book about an astronaut named Jack on a space freighter flight. He's there to gain clues on how his lover disappeared on this same voyage weeks earlier. Jack and the crew get caught in a vacuum that leads to a distant planet with two warring factions. Jack interviews both factions and sides with one of them in waking up the planet from a hibernation created by a naive leader. It's a bit of a natural disaster in science fiction with the obligatory doomsday forecast on the planet. It's a breezy read and should please fans of vintage sci-fi. My 8th pick is The Butcher, number 26, Terror Truckers. I posted a video last month tackling the book with fellow booktubers Bad Taste Books and The Book Graveyard. In this paperback, The Butcher is in Ohio tracking down domestic terrorists that are gassing farming communities in a quest to topple the world economy. Mostly this is a fun book with some over-the-top craziness, like using a horse as a weapon and gaining assistance from a young boy and his dog. The author was James Dockery, and this was his last Butcher installment before handing over the reins to writer Michael Avallone. Ranking 7th on today's countdown is the 60-page story Dead Man's Shoes. This was written by John Ennis McIntosh Stewart using his pseudonym Michael Ennis. This story features his star detective, Sir John Appleby, investigating the death of a man wearing two different shoes. The story follows a London attorney who witnessed the man on a train ride and a woman that felt threatened by that same man on her train ride. There's a dry British flavoring to the story, and lately I've fallen in love with dry British crime fiction, so this story was really entertaining. Landing at the number 6 spot is the 1991 young adult paperback Winter Kill. It was written by Katherine Johnson using her pseudonym Nicole Davidson. I reviewed this book on a podcast episode last month, so be sure to check there for a full review of the book. The synopsis is a young woman sees her date die in a hit and run. She begins her own investigation into who the killer was and why her young boyfriend was murdered. The book is set in a small tourist town that features ski slopes and outdoor activities, and those things play a part in the book's unique atmosphere. I enjoyed this cozy mystery. Before we jump to the bottom 5, be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Take a moment to like the video or post a comment. Number 5 on my countdown goes to the debut book in the juvenile fiction series Alfred Hitchcock and the Three Investigators. The book is titled The Secret of Terror Castle, and I reviewed this in depth on last month's podcast episode. The book was published in 1964 and stars 3 teenage boys investigating a haunted house. Inside and outside of this terror castle, the boys learned about an actor that mysteriously died in a car accident years before. They dig into the mystery and, of course, find danger at every corner. It was a lot of fun and certainly has a lot of fans. Nearly 90,000 people read or scrolled through my review post on Facebook about this book. It's a pretty hot item. My number 4 spot goes to The First Fast Draw. This was written by Louis L'Amour and published in 1959 by Bantam. The main character is Cullen Baker, a young man who returns to his childhood home in Bowie County, Texas, after years of living in the wild frontier. He ends up in a rivalry with a land grabber named Barlow. The author chose a real-life outlaw named Bill Longley as inspiration for this quick action-packed read. This post-Civil War time period was really interesting, and the locale of swampy East Texas combined to make it a memorable reading experience. The top 3 begins with The Most Dangerous Game. This is, of course, the popular short story that appeared in Collier's in 1924 and authored by Richard Connell Jr. This is the legendary man-hunting man theme that has been used repeatedly in men's action-adventure fiction books, movies, and TV shows. A big game hunter washes ashore on an island controlled by a man named General Zaroff. Zaroff hunts the hunter across his small island for sport. It's a great story with lots of action and dialogue regarding hunting and killing. I love how the narrative unfolded and the story's subjective ending was really neat. There's a reason the story is recycled again and again. My runner-up to best book I read in April is Congo by W.A. Ballinger. This was published in 1970 as a Mayflower original paperback. The book stars a mercenary named Hugo attempting to retrieve weapons and jeeps from a province of Katanga in the Congo. The opposition is a brutal terrorist organization known as Force Publique. Ballinger's writing reminded me of a high-powered attack like maybe Ralph Hayes and Peter McCurtain's Soldier of Fortune. There's gunfire, aerial assaults, rape, killing, and a very unique ending that really shook me. This was a really entertaining read that presents a spiritual conflict between two main characters. The best book I read in April was Cecil Day Lewis's The Private Wound. It was published as a hardcover by Collins in 1968 and in paperback by Dell in 1970. The book is set during the summer of 1939 in Ireland. The main character, a 30-year-old British author named Dominic, has his car break down outside the rural village of Charlottetown. He gets invited to rent a small cabin on a family farm, and there he falls in love with a young woman who's married to the local farmer. The book's first half narrative explores their relationship in a warm and captivating way. It's literary, but I was fully invested. The book's second half is a murder mystery when the young woman is found stabbed to death on a riverbank. This was such a great novel with so many moving parts. It's a character study, it's romance, it's crime drama, and it's all rooted in a spiritual dilemma and features a fantastic side character that's got a very violent background. The book's ending had such an impact on me. I just loved this book and I'll probably read it again. And that wraps up what I read and reviewed in the month of April. My writing partner and friend Tom Simon contributed a written review to the blog last month. His review was the book The Assassinator, written by screenwriter David Vow. The paperback was published in 1975 by Bantam and features a nameless Los Angeles Police Department detective investigating a series of seemingly random gunshot murders of people on the streets of LA. He writes that the mystery solution is weird and a bit out of left field, but upon reflection, satisfying. Stay tuned for more Paperback Warrior podcast episodes, videos, and written reviews. Things may slow down just a bit as we turn into the summer, but I'll still be around when I can. Thanks for watching and enjoy whatever it is you're doing. Take care and bye for now.